Perseus and the monster. Perseus was young, strong, and very brave. He promised King Polydectes that he would bring him the head of Medusa, the most terrible of the three sisters called the Gorgons. They had wings of leather and claws of brass, and although Medusa was beautiful, she had writhing serpents instead of hair. The gods, watching over Perseus, gave him advice. Athena lent him her bright shield, Hermes lent him his sharp sword and winged sandals, and they gave him the cap of darkness to make him invisible. With these divine gifts, Perseus set out to find the Gorgons. Hermes stands beside Perseus, offering him a sharp sword and winged sandals. Hermes wears a winged helm and a traveler's cloak. Perseus looks at the gifts with gratitude. When he found the Gorgons, Perseus cut off Medusa's head with one swift blow. To avoid seeing it, he wrapped the head carefully in a goatskin. Then he set out on his long journey home, flying with the winged sandals. On his journey, Perseus came to the great black rock where the giant Atlas knelt, holding up the heavens. Atlas begged to see Medusa's head, hoping to end his weary task. Taking pity on him, Perseus showed the head, and Atlas turned into a vast mountain. Perseus flew over seas and mountains until he came to a land ravaged by flood. Below him he saw a maiden chained to a rock at the edge of the sea. She was weeping as waves crashed around her. "I am Andromeda, daughter of King Cepheus," she said. Her mother had boasted that no nymph was as beautiful as her, and in anger the gods sent a sea monster to punish the land. Andromeda was chained as an offering to appease the creature. Perseus told Andromeda to shield her eyes. As the monster rose from the waves, he unwrapped Medusa's head and held it before the creature. Instantly, the beast turned to stone beside the shore. With his sword, Perseus cut Andromeda's chains and carried her back to the city. King Cepheus and the queen rejoiced and gladly gave their daughter in marriage. Perseus and Andromeda were wed in joy and celebration. After the wedding, Perseus and his bride sailed home to Greece. He longed to see his mother, Danae. But to his fury, he learned that King Polydectes had taken her captive and forced her into slavery. Polydectes held a grand feast for his princes. Perseus came disguised in old garments and sat among the guests. The king mocked him until Perseus rose, calling out that he brought a gift for the king. As the king jeered, Perseus unwrapped the Gorgon's head and held it high. In an instant, the king and all his princes turned to stone, their thrones shattering under their weight. Perseus freed his mother and took her home to meet his bride. He made the old fisherman who had sheltered them king in Polydectes' place. Then he returned the Gorgon's head and the divine gifts to Athena and Hermes. Finally, Perseus returned to Argos, where games of strength were being held before the king. He competed in running and leaping, then threw a bronze discus. The discus swerved and struck his grandfather, fulfilling the prophecy. Moral: true bravery lies not only in battle, but in mercy, justice, and gratitude to the divine.